So we're here at Richard Hamilton at the ICA, and this exhibition celebrates the fact that during the 1950s the ICA stood apart from a more conventional art scene in London, offering Richard Hamilton the opportunity to curate and organise pioneering exhibitions. So here we have Man, Machine and Motion, which was first presented in 1955. He also presented other exhibitions and was involved very much in collaboration with others, exhibitions such as Growth and Form and An Exhibit, which we're presenting upstairs in the upper gallery. These two recreations are presented in conjunction with Tate Modern's retrospective look at Richard Hamilton's extraordinary career, and together form a whole, looking at Hamilton's work over the course of the 20th century and therefore chart the legacy that he's had on 20th century art in Britain. What this exhibition presents is very much a historiography of images, charting the way in which man has used technology to enable exploration, travel, speed through four sections: air, space, sea and sky. It has a very wide range through from Leonardo da Vinci's drawings for his air machine through to 19th century imaginings of how technology could be used to explore underwater, through to the very latest sort of images of what future technology was imagined to be in the 1950s. It's set in a very precise grid structure, so it's organised around an 8-foot by 4-foot grid, and then the images were presented within that. So it's very much an installation through which visitors are invited to walk through. So the exhibition was always organised around a central core. So here you have, in this section, devoted to sea exploration. The instructions there were that you could actually change the layout of the peripheral images according to the space. What we've actually done here is we've managed to follow more closely the layout as it was at the ICA on Dover Street, which happened, although a different space, happened to suit very well the dimensions. It may sound obvious, but it's perhaps worth pointing out that the research that it took to amass this extraordinary range of images from across 200 years was a very detailed and lengthy project, pre-internet research, and we have some of the original source photographs upstairs in the archive section. But you can see the range and also the humour that was taken, because what Hamilton was interested in these images was not just recording the technology, but also the joy and the possibility that it gave to man to enhance travel and to augment the possibility for automation. So this exhibition apparently came out of a conversation in which Victor Passmore said to Richard Hamilton that Man, Machine and Motion would have been great if it wasn't for all the images. So they embarked upon a purely abstract exhibition, an exhibition without theme, subject or display of things or ideas. They also collaborated and brought in Lawrence Alloway, who was brought in to verbalise the notion of the exhibition, and his words can very much be seen on the exhibition poster, which in a way gives the invitation and gives a description of the process of the exhibition. In the poster they refer to the exhibition as a tennis court or a hopscotch grid, or essentially referring it to very much a play. And then it only then became static once the time of the public opening came about. So the moving of the perspex sheets and the precise placement very much happened during the installation. It became fixed once it was open to the public, and it was then that they, in a sense, were generating their own compositions through moving through it. So it's very much a play until the public opening point. We've also tried to be as true to the original design as possible. So we've actually, Sam Martin, our head of technical here at the ICA, has recreated these perspex clips, very much following the precise technical drawing that you can actually see in the archive gallery. Here we have rare archive material which documents the preparation and attention to detail that went into the design of Man, Machine and Motion and An Exhibit. Here we have the original bound proposal that would have been submitted to the ICA Exhibition Committee for consideration as to whether it would be presented at the ICA, with a written description for the intentions of the exhibition. Hamilton was always very involved in the design, for example, of the invitation or the poster or the catalogue, or the way in which the written explanation was given to accompany the exhibition. Here we have some of the original photographs for the layout of Man, Machine and Motion, and here we have the original drawing by Hamilton for how it should be laid out at ICA. I think it's also important to note that during the war he served as a jig and tool draftsman as part of the design unit and had technical training in engineering drawing, and that I think that very much permeates throughout his practice and also in the way in which he conceived of these exhibitions, and not only in their rendering in terms of preparatory drawings but also the way in which he thought about presenting the works in the gallery. I think what this exhibition illustrates and still looks extraordinarily contemporary despite having been first presented at the ICA nearly 60 years ago is Hamilton's fascination both in new technology in terms of the subject matter and the possibilities for technology, particularly to lift post-war Britain out of the austerity of a post-war environment, but also his interest and innovation in exhibition making and the way in which he was very much looking out to European modernism as well as new technologies being developed in America at that time, and bringing them and presenting them in London and Britain at that time.